Hello, and welcome to Our Kids, brought to you by the Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm Ben Jackie. On this month's show, we take a look back at some of the more interesting students and programs we featured in the 2013-14 school year. The SkillsUSA Championship will be held in Louisville in 2015 with over 10,000 high school participants, including some of our own JCPS students. It's an amazing sight to see students competing in more than 100 different trade, technical, and leadership fields. And some distinguished guests got a taste of what to expect when this Olympic-style competition comes to town.
SkillsUSA is a national organization for students that are enrolled in technical pathways. And the students that are here today are demonstrating their technical skills as well as their professional skills in interviewing and talking with the public and networking.
Just kind of a small sample of some of the skills that we've been trying to work with them in carpentry and engineering and architecture as well as robotics. And it's just a great opportunity for everyone to come together and to kind of showcase what they're doing.
The competition has definitely been really interesting for the fact that typically the amount of time you would have to complete a project would be more than 4 hours, but you do have a limit of 4 hours to get multiple things done, including like a flyer, a design concept for a website, a 3D model for a display, things of that nature.
These students, we're looking at college and career ready. So we know that 45% of our students straight out of technical high school programs go to work, and the other percentage goes on to a post-secondary experience, and some go to the military. But it's so important today for students to have not only the academic skills, and we believe it's a three-part process. It's the technical, the academic, and what we like to call the employability skills.
One of the best things about career and technical education is it's hands-on learning. A lot of it's learning by doing and learning by trial and error, and our students tend to work in those type of environments really well when they can see the product of something immediately. In an area like Louisville that, especially in recent years with the economy and businesses starting to kind of pour into here, this gives our kids a kind of a direct connection into future endeavors. It teaches them that some of the skills they have that extend beyond books and content knowledge, math, English, science, and social studies, to apply that into something that they can use not only for something they enjoy, but also to make a living and have a future career in.
The lighting was showing good in the kitchen, like it just happened to be a light that was in the kitchen. It was shining off that. I was like, oh, that looks good. Just the challenge of it all, and really being in a business setting, like it's really more professional than just being at school around people in normal clothes and have to dress up a certain way. I think that part really helps. Well, before the competitions, I wasn't used to the lighting and all that, so I had to learn that while I was going through the competitions. And
our robotics program, for example, we started off with some really small-scale Lego robots about 4 years ago, and to have won a state competition this past year for bomb-diffusing robots, some of these kids, it's their niche. This gives them something to take ownership in. The robots you'll see behind me, they designed them, built them. They're not some instruction manual that they got. I mean, this was all from scratch, and so they were given a task and told, here's what needs to be accomplished, and you figure out the best way to do that.
This is made out of effects parts. We have a Cortex, a camera, a gripper, and lights, and 10 motors.
SkillsUSA has definitely helped build my resume. I've won regionals and state first place the past 2 years, and that actually helped lead to me getting a job as a graphic designer for Orange Leaf, Kentucky, so that was pretty cool.
It really shows our community that we have some great things going on at our school, that we have some great kids who are really doing some phenomenal things.
The Advanced Humanities class from Ballard High School recently returned from an educational trip to Europe. Students experienced different cultures and visited many historic sites, but they say it was as much fun as it was enlightening.
We went to Athens, and while there we went to the Acropolis to see the Parthenon and some famous temples.
And it was just amazing to see that something so old and so massive could last that long through history, and it was really, you were really being able to see the history that was there.
People used it at one time, and someone actually built that, and you get to learn why it's there and the significance of it instead of about just reading facts in a book.
I can explain things to kids. I can show them videos. I can take them and show them pictures, but there's nothing like seeing it and doing it for yourself.
My favorite thing was definitely the Parthenon, because I had learned about it for so long, and even back in middle school we learned about it, and just being able to know the history behind it and how much effort it took to make it made me really appreciate it.
My favorite place to visit was definitely the Vatican City. Seeing the churches there, or the church there, it was really beautiful, lots of different architecture and paintings. The whole thing was different, especially the Sistine Chapel, because there was so much art I had seen before, and just seeing it in person was amazing.
We had never done this gladiator school.
Yo!
And man, it was by far, from an adult perspective, watching them, and from the kid perspective, it was the best one of those kind of hands-on learning activities we've ever done. We loved it.
We used shields, and we had to, we learned how to, get bags out of our way.
That means, remember, help your attack moving forward.
Using like these real wooden swords and actually like doing the moves that the gladiators did is really exciting and entertaining. And then the people who taught it were really intense, so you felt like you were getting a real gladiator lesson back in ancient Rome.
We were there for probably 2.5, 3 hours, and they all got to participate, and that's the best part, is they all got to do it, they all got to say they were a part of it, and that's just a wonderful experience for them. So the tour company, I have to give them the credit, but it's something that if we go back to Rome from now on, it is on the must-do list. Every time we go to Rome in the future, we will definitely be back there. I want the students to have learned about a different culture and then put that learning to practice and really get to apply what they have learned. And really, as educators, that's our goal, is whatever we teach them in our subjects, we want them to take that with them to the wider world. I want them to understand that there are different parts of life and different ways of looking at things. One's not right or wrong. I think a lot of times they're just different perspectives, and it's good to see that. It's good to be willing to take educational, intellectual risks, like new foods and going to a place where you're not going to know everything, it's not going to be as comfortable. And if nothing else, I hope they get the bug, and if they have the ability and the money and the time, that they go again and share that love of travel with other people, because I think that's a great gift to give to someone else.
Some Crosby Middle School students are having an out-of-this-world learning experience at the Challenger Learning Center, located at the Academy at Shawnee. Teamwork and good communication skills are a must for a successful mission.
JCPS students are learning about teamwork through a unique opportunity here at the Challenger Learning Center.
The Challenger Learning Center, located at the Academy of Shawnee, was opened on the 25th anniversary of the Challenger accident. This establishment offers hands-on learning experiences where students engage in space mission simulation. Students at Crosby Middle School begin their missions in a briefing where they get background information on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. From there, students are divided into teams where they are able to use skills such as decision-making, teamwork, problem-solving, and communication.
We're going to be doing the Comet mission, and I'm going to be working with like robots, and that's pretty cool.
This program gives students a unique opportunity to relate science into the real-world situations. Commander Will, the acting director of the Challenger Learning Center, explains how this is beneficial to JCPS students.
This is a rare field trip where instead of being a passive observer, the students take an active role. And so they have to use communication skills, they have to use teamwork skills, plus they have to use the math and science that they've learned in the classroom. If each student or each team doesn't do their part, then the mission may not be successful.
Crosby Middle School math teacher Jessica Elby explains how this is useful to her students.
I think it provides them with a lot of real-world experience of how they're going to use the science and the math, and especially the technology. And also they have to work together with who they're sitting right next to, as well as people who aren't in the same room as them.
Students are blasting off into fun here at the Challenger Learning Center.
Mission Control, this is the space station. For our kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Chloe Cantlener. Over.
For most children today, a doll is one of many toys that help them escape boredom or tap into their imaginations. But students at Carruthers Middle learned dolls had a much deeper meaning to children traversing the Underground Railroad. This hands-on experience combined social studies with language and visual arts.
We made the heart, we glued the heart, sewed the hair, paint the doll, and and now we're making the clothing for it.
Here at Carruthers Middle School, what we're doing is we're creating stories about dolls that were made during slave times on the Underground Railroad. Parents made them for their kids when the child was sold into slavery, so they would remember their roots. So the students, each student has written their own story from where they were a slave until freedom. And we get to follow the journey through the eyes of these dolls that they're creating.
We made a heart, we sewed our hair, and I'm still sewing the top of it. we can use the same one, or we can double the fabric since this isn't very thick, and we can cut it twice.
This one is the Underground Railroad. It was used to help slaves get to freedom. They had safe houses, which, if you notice, there'll be lanterns on the wall. Those represent that it's safe for the slaves to come there, that they're not going to be turned into as a runaway slave.
Like a lantern in a window in a house, it's the safe house.
The lantern helps slaves know that it's a safe house and gives them a chance to rest and eat. And these safe houses were called abolitionists, the people who were willing to take risky moves.
The heart represents the love of the family generation going through.
You can pin as many pins because we want to make it secure when we cut.
Then they're going to make clothing. They're going to start by cutting patterns. They get to decide what type of cloth they want to use, what pattern.
As the word increased, there were more people that were willing to help runaway slaves. These places were called safe houses. Slave catchers were our main concern. Many had brought bloodhounds that would track our scent. Some slaves were captured and chained until they could be returned to their owners.
Yes, go ahead, I got it. You push.
My story was that he was from the Underground Railroad down at the Underground Railroad.
Any more pictures on this page? No. Okay.
The life skills that they're learning, one, they're learning about diversity and people and how they're treated and how we want to be respected and treated ourselves.
Why did they use the Underground Railroad? To get to where?
Freedom.
To freedom. Very good.
I'm extremely proud. They've worked hard. They've done everything we've asked. We've pushed them so hard this year. They know this means a lot to me. They were very happy when we got funding for it. So yeah, I couldn't ask for anything. This is a wonderful school. I couldn't ask for a better place to work.
It feels very fun and it's exciting. It's very fun.
We have a lot more stories about our kids coming up, so stay with us.
Do you need help providing school clothes for your child? The 15th District PTA Clothing Assistance Program can help provide uniforms and other clothing. Make an appointment with the Family Youth Resource Center at your child's school. Donations of new and gently used uniforms and clothing are also accepted. Call 485-7062 or 485-7450 for more information.
The portal is your online link to information about your child's grades, test scores, attendance, career choices, and much, much more. It's a fast and easy way to stay on top of what your child is doing in school. If your child's teacher has set up a virtual classroom, you can log on to JCPS online and access grades for class assignments or communicate directly with teachers. The Parent Portal offers a convenient way you can stay involved in your child's education.
Fern Creek Traditional High School's renowned food literacy class is a study of sustainability. A garden and greenhouse have been staples of this innovative approach to learning. Well, as student reporter Shelby Pike explains, students now have a new challenge: chickens.
Typically when you think class pet, you think elementary school. But here at Fern Creek High School, one teacher is breaking open the egg of knowledge. 4 years ago, teacher Joseph Franzen started a Fern Creek community garden where he planted many different fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Eventually, he added live chickens and ducks to the garden. These birds laid eggs that he sold to faculty members and used for the cooking club. However, recently he decided to collect the fertilized eggs and put them in an incubator. Student Andrew Going talks about this process.
Then you have to rotate the eggs every day for 21 days. And then once they hatch, you have to you still have to keep them warm and teach them how to drink water and stuff. So, teach you responsibility.
While these furry puffballs are very cute, they aren't just used as class pets. Teacher Joe Franzen talks about what he teaches his students with the chicks.
My goal as a teacher was to create a sustainable food system so the students could see the entire circle of food production, of waste management, of then planting and then growing and then cooking and going around that circle and trying to keep it all on campus. So the chickens are an integral part of that, where we take waste from the cafeteria, we feed it to the chickens lay eggs, we take the eggs, we use them for cooking club, we also have the fertilizer for the garden, and that keeps on going. The waste food keeps going out there, we get more eggs, and one of the steps that we took to make it even more sustainable is instead of ordering chicks in the mail like we did last year, we have a rooster and we have chickens, and you know, the roosters and the hens got together and we got some nice fertilized eggs, and we put them in the incubator, and now we're sustainably producing our own herd, our own flock of chickens that can sustain itself, that can keep its numbers up, that can increase its population.
Take a look inside the incubator. It's not every day students get to witness the miracle of life, but these Fern Creek students get to experience such events on a daily basis. Watch the egg at the bottom of the screen. Within seconds, where there was once an egg, is now a living, breathing baby chick. Student Chris Sharp talks about his biggest takeaway.
Because it's something that we eat every day, and you take it for granted and you never pay attention to it. So watching them kind of hatch after a month, it was kind of a cool experience to see. So
Jill Franzen is taking the idea of class pets to a whole new educational level. For our kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Shelby Pike.
The Louisville Water Company has opened a new space called the Waterworks Museum, and some of the first visitors were our kids. Cane Run Elementary students are taking part in the pilot educational program offered by the museum.
This is the new Waterworks Museum exhibit at Louisville Water Tower Park. Cane Run Elementary is going to be joining us today, so we're very excited. They are an environmental school, environmental magnet.
Today we're learning about water and water properties.
Read the 3 steps. What do people have to do? It's just like a science experiment. We're figuring out we have to make a plan. We have a hypothesis, and then we have to test it.
There was a whole lot of hands-on stuff to where you could actually interact. Unlike most museums, you just have to look.
It's a new educational opportunity. They'll learn about the history of the water company. They'll learn how water has kind of played the role in how the city has developed as well. As soon as they get off the bus, they'll see the Ohio River. So it's a great opportunity for us to talk about the river and its role in our city and in our history. And for them to be able to just look at the Ohio and realize what a great source that is for us to use to make drinking water, how lucky we are to have it as a transportation system, and then to be able to go through the exhibit and see, how does the Ohio and what's happening here play out along the history of what we've done. They get to explore the materials that we use in filtration, so they get to take a really good look at earth materials. They get to learn about the innovation and the science that we do behind filtrations.
The material, the sediment that's inside the water.
So,
what does it look like when you look at it through there? Is it bigger? What does it look? Pull it back slowly. Wow. That looks like it's something pretty serious.
We've learned about clean water and dirty water and how you can tell which water is clean, how you can tell which water is dirty, all the sediment growing inside the dirty water. Then all the sediment gets washed away and turned into clean water with a little help from charcoal and gravel and sand.
How does sediment get in the water?
This is sort of the place where you can see what we did when we first started in 1860. So you can look at what was life like before a water company. Why was there a need for a water company? But then the exhibit takes you all the way up through today and what we've done, how we have created this great engineering feat with our riverbank filtration project and how all that came about and what we're doing to continue to be innovative in the field of water to make sure that our citizens have obviously a great healthy supply of safe water, and the science behind that, what the lab folks do, how we meet the Environmental Protection Agency standards, and all of that stuff can be discovered here.
The Winter Games in Sochi may be well behind us, but some Pleasure Ridge Park High students took to the slopes at the Special Olympics Winter Games. Sydney Smith shares their inspiring story.
Each year we send this group of students to the Special Olympics. Let's take a look at this year's trip.
Special Olympics of Kentucky is an organization our students participate in. It gives students with disabilities an opportunity to compete in athletic events. We took 8 of our students from PRP to the Special Olympics Kentucky Winter Games at Perfect North Slopes in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, where they competed in downhill skiing, the slalom, the giant slalom, a straight ski, and then the 50-meter and the 25-meter snowshoe race.
Now that you have an understanding of what exactly the Special Olympics is, here's an inside look with Wyatt telling us all that they do.
First, we pack, winter stuff and all that. Well, one of our students, Mark, lighted the torch.
Well, I got to carry the torch for Special Olympics. I had to climb up these ladders and open the games up, and it was real fun.
For me, I do high slopes and medium slopes. Most of my group just does ski. Mostly they do ski, some of them don't. And dinner, spaghetti or ravioli. And after that, we dance. Then after that, I got tired because, throat sore, you're worn out.
One of our athletes medaled, either in gold, silver, bronze, or 4th place. It's just an amazing opportunity for our kiddos to get the chance to go and compete against other athletes and be a part of something big. And Special Olympics is an amazing, amazing organization.
Pack it up in the bus, get ready, and after that, travel away to PRP and home.
What an awesome trip for some very special students. This is PRP correspondent Sydney Smith reporting for Our Kids.
Don't go away. We have a lot more stories about our kids coming up.
The portal is your online link to information about your child's grades, test scores, attendance, career choices, and much, much more. It's a fast and easy way to stay on top of what your child is doing in school. If your child's teacher has set up a virtual classroom, you can log on to JCPS online and access grades for class assignments or communicate directly with teachers. The Parent Portal offers a convenient way you can stay involved in your child's education.
Do you need help providing school clothes for your child? The 15th District PTA Clothing Assistance Program can help provide uniforms and other clothing. Make an appointment with the Family Youth Resource Center at your child's school. Donations of new and gently used uniforms and clothing are also accepted. Call 485-7062 or 485-7450 for more information.
When you think a cappella, usually old classic melodies come to mind. But the Bulldog Beats of Male High School keeps it contemporary with harmony and beatbox. The group is modeled after those seen on the TV show The Sing-Off or movies like Pitch Perfect. And they hit a high note at the Voices in Harmony Festival.
When everything's wrong, you make it right. I feel so high, I come alive.
We are the Bulldog Beats from Louisville Male High School.
It's cool to fit your voice part into something that makes something sound so awesome. I take a deep breath every time I pass your door. I know you're there, but I can't see you anymore.
This group is a contemporary a cappella ensemble, similar to what you see on Pitch Perfect or the TV show The Sing-Off.
It's basically with all voices, we don't use instruments or anything or any beating on anything. It's all, we have a beatboxer, which in a cappella it's called a vocal percussionist. What it is we kind of make our voices sound like instruments, and it comes together to make kind of a band, but with all voices.
What I had in mind, maybe lock the door and turn the lights down low.
So a cappella music is anything that is sung without any instruments, and the contemporary a cappella portion of this is a designation that's given so that people can understand the difference between regular traditional choral music from maybe the 1600s or the 1700s that is sung without instruments versus contemporary a cappella, which is songs that are more familiar, pop songs, R&B.
I eat up and I cool down.
Much better.
When something gets in my way, I go around it.
The bass and the vocal percussionists are the rhythm section, so we just make sure everyone, if we can stay on tempo and rhythm, then they can do that too.
Beatboxing is pretty much the drums in the songs and any noises that come along, like effects or anything like that, that aren't covered by voices.
So vocal percussion is when you use your mouth to make demonstrations and drum sounds with your mouth, because a lot of the contemporary a cappella some of the fun for that is being able to make sounds that sound like instruments with just your voice.
Yeah, usually there's a kick, which is more of like whenever you step and press and it's on the drum, and it's more of like a bass sound. And there's always a hi-hat, which is like t, 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 t. And then there's usually a snare and a cymbal, which is like a k or a psh.
The students performed and were judged according to the new A Cappella Education Association guidelines, which is a full rubric about performance aspects, solo aspects, intonation, tuning, quality, arrangement. And we received an overall exemplary performance rating for that, which was really good. And then in addition, they gave out special awards, and we received the Best Vocal Percussion Award for our performance there.
I know you're there, but I can't see you anymore.
We're a very tight group. We group text all the time, every single night. I always look at my phone and there's another 5-page group text from all of them. So we're a pretty knit group, and you kind of have to be in this kind of situation.
It teaches you like how to manage your time, because there are a lot of rehearsals and there's a lot of times when we have to be here after school or sometimes on weekends. So time management is one of them, and we have to work really, really hard. Tell me, do you feel the same? Hold me in your arms again.
Many of us take for granted the ability to go home every day and spend time with our loved ones. But that hasn't been the case for 2 young JCPS boys. So imagine their surprise when that all changed at a school assembly. Ballard correspondent Zach Perry reports.
At Greyhouse Shyrock Elementary, 1st and 2nd graders are crowded in the gym for a class assembly. For Josh and Matthew Coleman, it was a very special day. Unknown to them, their dad, Lieutenant Colonel Chris Coleman, would be returning early from service in Afghanistan to celebrate spring break with them.
What do you think the reaction's going to be when they see you for the first time?
Oh, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be happy. They're going to, we talked about it, but it's going to be good to see them. They're going to be surprised.
4 students were selected from the crowd to go on stage and dance with the cows. After the students were done, Josh and Matthew were asked to stay. They were told their mom had planned something special for them. The 5 cows pulled out signs of different locations that they would be going to, such as Disney World and Legoland. But the biggest surprise of all was held by the cow that had no sign. When this cow was asked to go find the sign, he went behind the stage and pulled their father out with him to say hello for the first time in 12 months. Needless to say, Josh and Matthew were ecstatic to see their father again. I'm Ballard correspondent Zach Perry for Our Kids.
Well, that's our show for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. You can find full episodes of Our Kids on the JCPS YouTube channel. Until next time, keep supporting our kids.